A little bit about oil and gas, probably the major industry for our services. As we all know, water and oil don't mix. And there are tremendous issues in dealing with produced water at the drilling. For every barrel of oil, 3 barrels of produced water are generated. There's a huge quantities. Industry spends over $100 billion a year treating produced water. Hydrofracturing has been in headline news for the last couple of months. Not without a reason, it's all about water. We have about 450,000 hydrofracturing wells in the United States, primarily in Colorado, Wyoming, and Pennsylvania. And these are some of them that operate 24/7 in Colorado. In recent New York Times article about 2 weeks ago in Sunday paper, they discussed the huge issues related to water and potential contamination stemming from this industry. Agriculture is a big unknown, sacred cow that cannot be touched yet, but we have a Central Valley, pesticides and herbicides that produce a tremendous amount of contaminants that get in groundwater and the closed system that eventually we'll have to deal with. But even industries that you wouldn't think of as contributing to water contamination, such as this is the headquarters of Wilson Sonsini in Palo Alto, and right here in the corner is a groundwater treatment plant that our company designed and built back in about 12 years ago. And although it has nothing to do with this building, it has to do with HP and Varian that have created 2-mile-long plume of highly contaminated groundwater that for next 50 years will be pumped and treated at this facility. Now, let me ask you this question. Does it really matter what type of lighting this building is going to have when you have 24/7 pumping and treating going on forever? So what was considered just overhead cost at one point now is becoming a source of really huge risk and operational expense for the companies. And sooner they focus on it, the better it's going to be for everyone. I'm going to go a little bit more in what does it really mean to manage all these messes around and what we have done. And basically, unlike the carbon footprint where calculations are pretty straightforward, there are 3 levels of calculations and information management that happen at the water cycles. The first one is usage information. That's easy. That's like energy management and requires just one number per day, per hour, or whatever. The second one, before I go to the second one, let me just explain a few more things about usage. Other than quantity, obviously there is a type of water that is being used that needs to be recorded, whether it's rainwater, tap water, recycled water, and so on. But typically, in terms of math, this falls in the category of arithmetics, not a big deal, and whoever does carbon calculations can do this as well pretty easily. The second thing is location. Withdrawing 1 cubic meter of water in Chicago or Arizona or California is not the same thing, or Israel. Because the water has a value and it's a local issue. It doesn't matter whether 1 ton of carbon is emitted here in California or China or Europe, it has the same impact on the planet. That's not the case with water. It's all about location. And it's highly location dependent. When we know that 20% of people on this planet do not have tap water available for drinking, then you can imagine how big of the problem that is worldwide. What I want to focus a little bit more is water quality before I finish. This is the hardest part. This is your healthcare records type of a deal. It's complicated, it's endless, has thousands of chemicals that affect it, thousands of different regulatory frameworks from location to location, and it's just tough. And that's what we have chosen to focus on from the beginning of building our software, to automate that process so when water gets contaminated, unlike the air, typically it gets treated because it's required by law. And that means there is a lot of data coming on a continuous basis for analysis, monitoring, and reporting. A few words about our clients and how we have grown and who are the companies that are using these services. So last 10 years, you have seen progression from very few takers in early 2000s, early adopters, Schlumberger, Alstom, Honeywell, technology companies, you would expect them to be early adopters. But then you would not have expected Chevron to be an early adopter of technology like this. And what happened in 2003 when our business took off, huge driver Sarbanes-Oxley. Every publicly traded company has a line on the balance sheet that says environmental liability. It's a number that cannot be easily reproduced unless you have a system at enterprise level to see what type of liability you have. And that's how we have grown to amass 15,000 sites, and obviously the biggest two new customers in 2009 that came on board, ExxonMobil worldwide and Exxon for a Duplan feed that is largest in the US. Last year we have signed a significant amount of various clients in all kinds of industries, from United Airlines to Southern California Edison and so on. But the biggest win that fortunately coincided with this conference is the award that we received last week. That really calibrates what we have been doing for the last 10 years, really culminated with an award from the Department of Energy to manage all environmental data, including radionuclides at Los Alamos National Lab, that over the last 50 years have produced enough contamination that many of those companies combined, including ExxonMobil, cannot match because of sheer size of 100 square miles being contaminated. And we are obviously very proud of it. And this was won in a competitive bidding with some companies that are 1,000 times larger than us. And it just tells you how important it is to have domain expertise and knowledge relative to these systems. All of this comes in software that is very elegant on the web, runs across all these various components in an organization that manages compliance, sustainability, health and safety, and analytical data in a single system. A lot of charts and graphs and heat maps, trending analysis, total interface through Google Maps, to easy access of data so that laymen can use it. And finally, next week we are introducing the iPhone application for field data collection. With that, I'm open for any questions.